Hi, this is Christy with Guidepost to Wellness. Happy Groundhog's Day. I decided, since I'm in an area of the United States where the weather is actually very nice, where I know there's a huge winter storm through a lot of the United States, I thought, well, let's get outside and enjoy it. So I'm bundled up, and this is take 2 of this video because the last video, Chico kept getting in my face and while I was trying to record the video, which just didn't work out very well. So this is take 2 of what do you get when a stubborn, clumsy person has a stroke. Well, it's kind of like the car insurance commercials for mayhem. Instead of mayhem, you get mishaps. So I want to have a disclaimer right here. I know all the therapists out there are just shaking their heads and are very upset with me right now because I am violating the call, don't fall principles here that are ground into our heads while we're in rehab. But I'm stubborn, and that's my best and my worst quality, as my husband puts it. And then I'm clumsy. I'm that person that always has the unexplained bruises in the backs of my arms and in my thighs from bumping into things. Always. If there's a table corner, I'm going to hit it. I always have bruises all over the place. So being clumsy when you're only half of your body's working can make it a lot worse. So my first little mishap I actually had it while I was still in rehab, and I definitely violated the rules there, and Nurse Nancy was very unhappy with me. So in rehab, they actually put seatbelts on the wheelchairs, but my seatbelt alarm kept going off at the wrong times and not working properly, so a lot of times they would let me, and they thought that I was a good patient because according to my chart, I was a pleasant middle-aged woman, which I love that one too. So they thought I would behave. Well, little did they know that I'm stubborn. And so I'm sitting facing the bed. Hopefully you can kind of try to visualize this. I'm sitting in the wheelchair. Both my feet are planted on the floor, but my phone is in a pocket of the side rail on the other side of my bed. And the phone rings, and it's my husband's ringtone, and I wanted to talk to him. So I leaned across the bed. So you have to realize this is like, my bed is wider than like my entire torso, because I essentially was laying my entire torso across the bed with my arms reached out to reach my phone. So that seemed harmless enough, except that my left foot slipped, and it slipped back, and it slipped underneath the wheelchair, and my foot literally got caught in the spokes of the wheelchair. What are the odds? I should have played the lottery that day. And my foot got caught, and I could not get my foot out. So my right foot is still firmly planted, and I'm leaning over my thigh, kind of like in a strange pigeon pose for those of you that do yoga, or definitely a very, very low lunge. So I had grabbed the phone. I said, honey, I'll be right there with you in just a minute. And then I had to hit the call button and, admit my guilt and say, my foot's caught in my wheelchair and I can't get it out. I need some help. And Nancy comes in and she sees me sprawled, my upper body sprawled across the bed with the phone lying there, and then my foot wrapped into the spokes of the wheelchair. And she's like, what were you doing? I said, I had to get my phone. She said, you should have called me. Yes, ma'am. She said, we're not going to do that again, are we? No, ma'am. And she picked me up, strong little lady, and plopped me back in the wheelchair, fastened the seatbelt, and kind of huffed out. She was a little disgusted with me for a while. And then, of course, the phone was still on because I hadn't hung it up. I just, answered it real quick and then just slid it to the side. So then, of course, Greg's like, what did you do? And I had to describe to him. He's like, seriously? I'm like, seriously. So, yeah. So that was the very first one. That should have been an indicator of clumsy plus stubborn plus stroke equals issues. So the next one happened after I'd been home for a while, and we have a set of stairs. I don't go up the stairs because we don't use the bedrooms upstairs. And so I was on the bottom stair doing some strength training on my left leg, doing some like one-legged squat kind of things that they taught me, holding on to the newel post, so that all seemed good, except the leg was very tired. So when I stepped off the step, it buckled. And even though I have a quad cane, I was doing a wheelie with the quad cane because I was only on 2 feet. And so that wasn't helping me. So I literally hopped on my right leg to keep from falling. And I hopped across the hallway until I ran into a bookshelf in a doorway. and caught my balance, got the cane down, and then went into the bedroom, where then that's where I proceeded to do some exercises, and like I shared in a previous video, literally roll out of the flippin' bed. And I'm laying on the ground as I'd rolled right out of the bed. I was trying to get on my forearms, and the side of the mattress just buckled, and I slid on the sheet, and over she went. Timber. And Greg heard me muttering and could see through the doorway and could see my feet on the ground and hear me just chastising myself for rolling out of the flipping bed. I mean, go figure. Who else has ever done that? I'm probably like one of the only people that's ever rolled out of the bed. So he gets me up, and we're all straightened out. I had a bit of a bruise. That's really the worst one I had, is that one did leave a mark, because I say that a lot. I'll be walking along, run into the corner of a table, or hit my arm or my funny bone or something like that, and that'll leave a mark. Yep, that one left a mark right on my side. I managed, of all things, I managed to roll out of the bed, land on my right side on the floor, but then the left side flopped me back over, and I flopped onto the base of my cane on my left side, and that's how I got the bruise. So, and that was a twofer, 2 in 1 day. Now this next one actually is my favorite. This is what I call the ship launch. Greg and I decided let's take a bath. Well, do you know how hard it is to get in and out of a shower with a bench when you've only got one side of your body? Well, getting into a bathtub may not be the most optimal thing to do, and they definitely didn't teach us how to do that in rehab. Though they had a bathtub, and I probably should have asked, because there's a bathtub, you know, why not? You got to figure out how to get in and out of it. So Greg filled up the tub with nice hot water, and he put in these amazing smelling bath salts with Epsom salts and lavender and mint and lemon and all these wonderful smells. And I get in there. I'm sitting on the edge of the bathtub, porcelain bathtub, and I'm sitting on a towel. And Greg was trying to help spin my legs in with the intention that I get my legs in and then kind of use my right arm to lower my bum into the tub. Well, nope, that's not what happened. As he started to spin me, the towel went, and ahoy, over the side I went. And there was a tidal wave like you would not believe, like a tsunami. I mean, the water I hit the water, and thankfully, because of the water, it cushioned, and I kind of just slid into the bottom of the bathtub. And I'm laying there looking up at Greg with this surprised look, and the look on his face was priceless. He was like, "You were supposed to spin." I'm like, "Yeah, the towel slipped. That didn't work out so well." He said, "But I'm okay. I'm okay." And then, after I said that, my face was still dry until the tidal wave crashed over me and then splashed me all up in the face. So, the tidal wave came out over the side of the bathtub, all over the floor. So Greg's out there mopping up. He got wet. He looked like he had been in the bathtub by the time he got done, because I splashed him so good. And he said, "That was like launching a ship." I said, "Yeah, not quite what we had planned." And then, of course, the water was really hot, so we had to put some cool water in it to cool it down a little bit. I didn't have a chance to adjust. I just went for the shock factor there. So that's my personal favorite, was the ship launch into the bathtub. We have not tried getting into or out of a bathtub again, though we did find another packet of bath salts, so we may be giving that a go again, because it did feel really good to be in the bathtub, I'll tell you. That was really good. When you have aches and pains all over, it feels really good to have to do a magnesium soak. Sorry folks, my hair is tickling my nose. And then the last one happened about last week, and this is the one that's the cat toss, which is really dumb. So, those of you know, I have more cats than I need, and Rosie is one of the cats. She likes to come and see me in the evenings. It's kind of funny. She actually will tuck me into bed. I have 2 cats that will tuck me into bed, and if you think I walk slow, they walk right in front of me, literally, so I have to scooch their bum with the bottom of my cane. And then they just keep turning around looking at me. "You coming, Mom? You coming?" It's really kind of funny that they do that literally right in front of the cane. It's like they want to get bumped by the cane. It's the craziest thing. But anyway, this is before she escorted me to bed. I thought, well, she needs to get up in my chair so I can put a blanket over her. Just give her a little bit of attention. Sorry, my nose is still itching. And so she's a fairly heavy cat. She's solid. So I picked her up with my right arm. No problem. But I was standing in front of my chair, facing my chair, and I went to toss her. Well, she decided to push off at the same time. So that pushed me backwards because I wasn't expecting her to do that. And so I kind of stumbled backwards a little bit. I bumped into the rebounder stability bar, but it wasn't solid enough. So I overcompensated, and then I launched myself forward, put my right arm out, and grabbed my armchair. But it has wood feet on a wood floor, so it slid. So it slid, and down I went onto my knees. So you hear boom, boom as my knees hit. And then my arm was trapped on the chair. My left arm was trapped on the chair. My face is literally smushing Rosie, and she's looking at me like, "What are you doing, Mom?" And then Greg's in the kitchen making a cup of tea. And like I said, there wasn't any, loud, horrendous crash or anything like that. So then I have to go, "Greg, can you come in here? I've fallen and I can't get up," just like the commercials. "I've fallen and I can't get up." We all know those commercials. And he comes in and grabs me under the armpits and hauls me up, gets me sat in the chair, goes and sits down on the couch. He goes, "What were you doing?" And I explained it to him. And he said, "Oh, I hate that I missed that." I said, "Yeah, it would have been a classic to see in slow motion." So, no more cat tossing for me. It's not something that we did in occupational therapy. We threw horseshoes and stuff, but Rosie weighs a lot more than a horseshoe. And but I will say that was more of a controlled fall than a true fall. So I know I've got to be careful. I've got to make sure that I slow down and think before I do stupid things like this. Please don't hate on me in the comments, therapists. I know. And I want to make very, very clear, I am not advocating that anybody that's had a stroke do any of these things. If anything, I want everybody to learn from my lesson. Don't be stubborn. Get the help beforehand so you don't have to do it afterwards. Because boy, am I glad that I lost 15 pounds before the stroke while I was on the keto diet, and I've lost 10 pounds since the stroke, because that makes it a little easier for my husband to haul my ass up off the ground whenever I'm down there. But I will say, I'm going to take a little walk around the yard, but that's the one thing. When I'm outside and on uneven ground, I am very, very cautious and really plant my feet carefully and make sure I see what's going on, any cats that are around, so I don't stumble on anything. So I thought I would share a little bit of humor on Groundhog's Day for everybody. I hope that spring comes soon for everybody, because I know it's been a rough winter. But I enjoy being outside and sharing my tales with you. I've got ideas for a couple more videos. When I can't sleep at night, that's when I lay there and think about ideas to do for videos. So I'll be sharing that with you guys soon. I look forward to hearing from you. Any comments? Anybody else know of somebody that's stubborn and clumsy? Please share so that I don't feel so alone. But I look forward to any comments and feedback that you have. And please don't hate on me, all you PT folks out there. You taught me well. I just, I'm stubborn and I didn't listen to all of it. So take care. Till next time. Bye.